Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about some things that I'm sure bother a lot of us people that play video games, that bothered me for a really long time. So we're going to get into that today. I'm going to give you all what I think is probably the best things that I've learned from my experience playing and how I improve my game no matter what I'm playing. So I'm sure it's happened to all of us where we play a certain game and we tend to get plateaued on it. We kind of don't know how to improve. We don't know why we can't get better at it, or maybe we're just bored of our skill level. We think that we're better than we really are and we want to improve. And a lot of the times it's hard for us to find that middle ground. It's hard for us to find out why we can't get better or what exactly we're lacking. I'm sure a lot of us think that we're a better rank than we really are because we just in our minds see ourselves as really good players. Now today's video is not really going to be about any game in particular. It's going to be just in general about any game that you want to play and good practices that you can do that will generally make you a better player. Now to start off, we're going to get the most obvious thing out of the way, and that's putting in hours into your game. Now of course there's no way around it, there's no shortcuts. If you want to get good at a game, you're going to have to play it a shit ton. You're going to have to know the ins and outs of that particular game. Now you want to try to do this in a positive environment, however. You don't want to play with people that are toxic. Playing with people that are toxic are just going to make you hate the game, and you're not going to learn it the way you should. So you should play with a good positive team that's going to help you out and to support you whether you do good or not. Now playing the game a lot is important, but you also want to make sure how you play it, which is going to take me to my next point, which is playing consistently. Now I know this may sound like my last point, but I'm talking about when you play the game that you play. So for example, if you play like 5 games on Wednesday, and then you play 6 games on Saturday, and then you play 5 games on Tuesday the next week, then it's not going to be consistent and you're not going to get better because you're constantly going to be not learning that muscle memory. The whole point of a game is to learn muscle memory first, which is the mechanics of the game, and once you get that down, then you can start working on your awareness. So I would recommend that when you play at least the same time every day. So maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and I know not all of us have that time, with college or work and stuff like that. But you got to put in the effort if you really want to get better at that game, especially if you want to make content for it or if you want to become pro even. You're going to have to put in consistent hours, not just a lot, but you're going to make sure that you want to play the same every day. That way your body gets used to the movements of the game. And whether you play a controller or PC, you're going to have to learn the movements, and it'll just stick to your brain pretty much. You'll kind of always know those movements. Like for example, when I play Rainbow Six, I kind of already know where to aim because I'm just so used to my aim already after so long because I played every day. And whenever I went maybe 2 or 3 days without playing, my aim was really bad because I just didn't get used to it anymore. Like my body forgot it. So you just want to keep in mind, and also you want to make sure that whenever you do play, you're playing productive. Don't play tilted and don't play mad, and just kind of let the game play itself out. Now moving on to number 3, and I know this is gonna sound really counterproductive, but that is playing other games. Now the reason I tell you this is for actually a number of reasons. And the first is that you don't want to burn out on a game, and I've had this problem for so long. So the way I am as a gamer is that whenever I find a game that I really like, I don't like being bad at it, so I'll play it non-stop until I think that I'm decent. But I played so much that I eventually end up hating it. That's what happened with Fortnite, that's what happened with Gears of War, it happened with Siege for a while. I couldn't play that game, and it recently happened with Apex, where I just can't play as much because I played it so much during the time that it came out, for the first month and a half maybe. But I've learned now that playing other games can help you with the game that you want to get better at pretty much, because you learn other ways of playing. You learn how you are as a player. So I know that I'm a very aggressive player no matter what I'm playing. I don't like to hold back and set angles, and even in Rainbow Six, where that is what you're meant to do, that is what the game is meant to be, you holding angles, I don't do that. I like to rush things and I like to push. But I learned that I wasn't like that before. When I played Siege before, and that's all I played, I didn't recognize that was the type of player I am. And I would, fight off my instincts and stay back and hold angles, and I would die because I was playing a way that, I'm not intended to play. Now, I'm not saying that I can't be patient, because I think I am a patient player, but for the most part, that's how I have the most fun, and that's how I think I'm the most effective. And I'm sure those of you who watch my Apex videos know that I pretty much run at every gunshot I hear. But that's something I learned about myself, and I wouldn't have learned that if I hadn't been playing other games. I played Overwatch, and I learned that I was aggressive. I played, I went back to Gears for a little bit. When I started playing Apex again, I learned that I was really aggressive, back when I played Fortnite also. And you just kind of have to find your identity. You have to find out what works for you. Not everybody has the same playstyle, and maybe you're playing the wrong playstyle, and you just don't realize it because you're just used to that one game. And the second reason that I tell you to play other games is because you want to master just your mechanics in general. If you're playing a shooting game, which I think most of you are, since you guys watch my channel, you're gonna have to learn how to aim at every single level. So if you learn how to play Siege and you start aiming pretty good on Siege, that's not the same as playing Fortnite. In Siege, you rarely have to 180, and in Fortnite, you're gonna have to be 180 all the time, and you're gonna have to be moving pretty fast, you know, to keep up with everybody. And the truth is that every game teaches you another kind of like mechanic, another kind of aim. Not every game plays the same, and a lot of the games actually play a lot differently. So learning a different game will make you better in your core mechanics, whether that be on controller or PC. For PC, so when I first got my PC, all I played was Siege, and I got pretty good at it. But all I was used to was these small little micro movements with my mouse, because that's all Siege is. You know, you rarely have to 180. You rarely have to flick across your entire screen, because, you know, it doesn't call for it. As long as you play safe, you don't have to do that. So when I started playing Fortnite, when Fortnite first came out, I was so bad at it because my 360 movement was not good whatsoever. I was just not used to it. And after playing for like about 5 or 6 months, you know, I got really good at that. And you know, it made me so much better when I went back to Siege, because my aim was just a lot more consistent. I was able to have more control over my 360 aim rather than just the shitty aim I had before Fortnite. And the same thing goes for Apex. After playing Apex, I can go back to Siege and it's a breeze, because I don't have to worry about that kind of movement or players moving that fast. So that game, or those games, have made me so much better in the core game that I wanted to get better at, that it's crazy to me. And I never thought about this. And even though I don't play Siege that much anymore, I'm starting to play CSGO now. I'm trying to get into that because I love learning games. My aim is just a lot better than it would have been if I hadn't have been exposed to a different type of games that wasn't just Rainbow Six. Now we're going to move on to the next tip, which is watching your top players play. So every game has people that are really good at it, and whether you have a pro league or some kind of league at all, like Overwatch does, Rainbow Six does, CSGO, there's always good people that you can watch. And this is something that you really want to do, because you kind of learn things that you would have never thought of. Like, I don't watch Rainbow Six Pro League as much as I used to, but I still do watch it once in a while. And I've been playing that game since beta. I've been playing it for 3 years. It's been forever. But even then, I still learn things. I still watch things that I would have never thought of, because to be honest, you just want to see the top people play, because they think outside the box. You know, they're the top players for a reason, and they see the game differently than everybody else. And watching them play will kind of give you that mindset. You'll learn things, yes, of course, that other people don't know, and that can put you at an advantage. But you'll also learn to think outside the box and see the game as something else than what you already do. Now, this doesn't even have to be some kind of league. It can just be people that are really good on YouTube. Seeing anybody good that plays will just give you a better insight on the game, and that's something you should really be doing. I did this for CSGO, and I think I'm getting better, to be honest. But now the next tip is going to be an add-on to this, and that is be careful what you think when you watch people play on YouTube. So a lot of the times when people watch YouTube videos, they see really good plays, they see highlights and stuff, and that's a good way to learn the game. You might learn something that you didn't know before from these videos, but you also have to not compare yourself to these people, because you have to realize that a YouTube video is somebody's highlights. You know, these people chose to show you these seconds or these minutes, and that doesn't mean that they always play like that. So sometimes when you see people put up a video and they're really good, you kind of compare yourself to them, and you're just like, wow, like I'm not that good. I can never be that good because I don't play like that all the time. And I mean, they probably don't either, you know, unless they're pros and they have so many hours into the game that they got it down to a T. Most people do not play that good consistently. And I know I upload a lot of Apex videos where I get like a good amount of kills and stuff like that, but that's not an every game thing, you know, that's an every few games thing. And I just show you guys what I want you guys to see. So you have to take that into consideration when watching people online. Another thing that you want to learn also is to admit when it's your fault in a game. And this is the biggest problem that a lot of people have. And I still have this problem, to be honest, whenever I'm playing certain games. And whenever I die, sometimes I blame random things that, you know, I'm sure they had an effect, but the overall fault is mine. And I have to realize that, because that's the only way you can improve. When you notice that you're not the best, and when you notice that you make mistakes, is when you can actually improve on them. So if you're just in denial, you're never going to learn anything. And a good way that I went about this is that since I do make videos, I tend to rewatch a lot of my content, and I kind of learn from my mistakes that I have in my videos. So sometimes I'll go back to my content and I'll see, why did we lose this? Or why did I lose this? And I'll see the mistakes I made, and I learn from it. And to be honest, I think this is a very, very good method. I found this by accident because I make videos. But if you have a way to record yourself or record what you're doing, even if it's with your phone and you're just recording your TV, It's a really good habit to do because you'll see what you do wrong. Sometimes when you're playing the game, you're so involved in it, you don't notice the mistakes you do because you're involved in it. And I notice how, you know, sometimes you watch people on YouTube and you're like, wow, these guys are kind of bad. And I'm sure those people don't feel like that because they're in the game, like they're too busy thinking and stuff like that. So there's mistakes you're only gonna see when you're seeing your gameplay when you're not involved. So make sure that you do that if you have a chance to, and it's honestly one of the best tips I can give you. You're gonna be unbiased about it. You're gonna see the gameplay as it is and not be emotionally involved in the game that you're watching. And it's a really good thing. You should really try it out. And the last tip I'm gonna give you for this video, and something that took me forever to realize, is to not stick to the same routine every time you play the game. So for example, every time I played Siege, I always held the same angles. I always took care of the same room. I always picked the same operator and the same gun. Whenever I played Apex, I always wanted to carry an R301 and a Peacekeeper. And you know, whenever I played CSGO, I always wanted to go to the same bomb site and take care of that, or do the same plan. And that is the worst thing you can do because you don't learn anything. You don't learn how your game is supposed to be played. So when I was playing Siege, I started playing different things. I started playing different characters. I started, you know, trying to hold off different rooms, trying to enter the building in different ways. And I learned so much about the game because it's almost like you're free from this routine. Like you feel better, you feel smarter for some reason because you're trying out all these different things. And sometimes, you know, it happens to all of us. Everyone likes a certain thing and everyone likes a certain gun or a certain, you know, play style. And that's good, you know, it's good that you have your thing down. But if you notice that you're playing, you know, worse, it might be because of that, because you're just so burned out on that certain thing that you do all the time and it's killing you, and you have to try out different things. And learning different roles is something that's really important because you'll learn the basic layout of your game. Like for example, the example I give you about Siege, you know, I learned a whole different things. I learned to be an anchor, I learned to roam. If you play Overwatch, maybe you only play DPS, but you should try playing support, or you should try playing tank, because you'll learn different aspects of the game that you don't realize. It works the same way as kind of when you get a job. You know, when you get a job, you start off at the bottom, and if you ever want to be at the top, you have to work your way up. And there's a reason for that. It's not just to be annoying, you know. The reason for that is that you'll learn how the job works overall. If you start off at the bottom, you're gonna learn how everything works, so once you get to the top, you're just gonna know how to manage everything and you're gonna be really good at it. And the same thing applies to video games. If you learn every single role of a game, whether that be, you know, Overwatch, CSGO, or Rainbow Six, or Apex, or whatever, you're gonna become better at the game. You're gonna be more aware. You're gonna know all the options that are available, all the threats that you have against you, and you're just gonna become a smarter player. So next time you play Apex, maybe don't always drop in the same place that you always drop. You know, don't always pick up the same guns you always pick up. If you play Rainbow Six, don't always pick the same operators. You know, don't hold off the same rooms. Don't enter the same way every time, and you'll be surprised how free you feel. You're gonna feel like you're playing outside of the box, and it's a really hard mindset to do because, you know, you might be really good at what you do. You might be a really good tank in Overwatch, and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna throw if I don't play a tank. You know, I'm gonna be really bad because I'm really good at this one thing. But what if you're weak in the other aspects of the game? And that's not something you want. You want to be good at everything. You want to be decent at your game, and no matter what role they put you in. So you should really take this into consideration, and this might be the most important tip I'm giving you because it took me so long to figure out. And I'm telling you guys because I don't want you guys to go through that. I don't want you all to go through this long period of staleness in your game that you can't figure out why. Because for a long time, I really struggled with this. This was one of my biggest problems with video games. That's probably why I got bored of Siege, because I always did the same thing. I always picked the same characters. So just, you know, try it out, try new things, and just you'll see how much you improve. Anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed these tips. This was a really personal video. I really wanted to help you guys out because these are things that I learned over time and with my experience with playing video games ever since I was a kid. And I love getting better at video games, so this is something that I kind of take to heart. And I hope you all enjoyed it too. And anyway, if you guys haven't subbed, be sure to do so down below. Also hit that like button and comment if you want me to cover any topics or just play a certain game or, you know, do certain things, and, you know, I'll take that into consideration. Anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy guys. Peace out. Oh, and PS, I stream almost every night. I've been playing CSGO recently, but I also play Rocket League, Rainbow Six, Apex, of course, all that good stuff. So I'll leave that in the description below if you guys want to see that. Well, yeah guys, that's about it. Later.